hail Sunday. The NFL on CBS is back with a crazy talented crop of QBs out west, possible MVPs in the East, and matchups to remember. Sundays, the NFL is on CBS.
It's The Last Stand, and here is your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. It is The Last Stand. I'm Brian Custer. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. And joining me today is, pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world. She is the WBO, the WBC, the IBF, the Ring Magazine super featherweight champion of the world. She's known as the Bomb. Alycia Baumgardner joins us here on The Last Stand. Champ, I've been looking forward to this. How are you?
I'm well. I'm blessed. So thankful. Again, just on cloud nine still.
Well, you should be. How does it feel to be the unified champion and now really just a belt away from being the undisputed champion at 130 pounds?
It feels so good to know that my hard work is paying off. The time, the effort, the dedication, the discipline that I had to have during this whole process and journey. It's amazing. I'm literally sitting back and I'm like, wow, we're doing it. We're living the dream. There's so much more to accomplish, and I'm just so hungry to do that.
You know, what was going through your mind when that announcer said, we have a split decision, and you heard at one point there was a card that I think it was 97-93 for mayor. What was going through your mind?
I'm like, listen, I've been here. I've been in this position plenty of times, but in my spirit, I said, I still got this fight. I still got it. This fight is for me. No matter what, that was in my spirit. So I'm like, okay, next scorecard. And, you know, when they said my name, obviously so much joy and raw emotion. It was awesome.
That's fantastic. You know, so many people thought that you would win this fight if there was a knockout, because they were like, oh, Baumgardner's got the power. If there's a stoppage, it's going to be her. A lot of other people said, well, if it goes the distance, then that is all Mayer. Even Mayer was on The Last Stand, and she said that. She said, I'm going to take her to the distance, and then I'm going to drown her in the later rounds. What did you think about the win, how you did it, and what did it say about you as a fighter?
Yeah, so first, you know, the narrative was, you know, she took me to deep waters, took me to the distance. You know, it was going to go her way, but the narrative changed. A lot of people didn't know the set of skills that I had. And I boxed the boxer, outboxed the boxer. I used my jab, my feints, my movement. And a lot of people haven't seen that side. And of course, we want to see a knockout. We want to see, you know, you put somebody down, but I also have these skills. And I was able to box her and show that. And so I think it drew a different crowd of people and changed their mind. I'm like, okay, this did go the distance. And Alycia boxed beautifully. And again, this fight was so easy to me. I'm like, this easy. And I loved it, though. I enjoyed every moment of it. And I believe that it happened the way it happened. And again, still thankful.
You know, what was the game plan going into that fight when you looked at film of her and things of that nature? Because I thought you did a great job. Even when she jabbed, I mean, you went over her jab and counter. I mean, I was like, wow, she is really giving it. What was the game plan for that fight?
The game plan, you know, was I prepared for a come forward, nonstop Mayer. I prepared for that type of fight. And, you know, the game plan was make adjustments. A great fighter makes adjustments every second of the round. And because I knew how I came out, I'm like, okay, I can box this girl. I don't have to make it a dogfight, but I can box this girl and hit and not get hit and make sure that I'm landing the cleaner, harder punches. And so the game plan was just to be continuous, to be, you know, don't give any rounds up. And again, still use that jab. The jab dictates everything. And that's what I felt was keeping her on the outside, even her not even committing to come in, because my right hand was waiting as well. So, you know, it was great. It was great.
So now I got to ask you the question, because I heard it throughout the fight. Did you dog walk her?
I feel like I walked her the way I wanted to. Sometimes you go a fast speed. Sometimes we taking a stroll through the park. And I feel like the stroll that I gave her was what I wanted to do. And when you're able to do that as a fighter, you have enjoyment in that. And again, I tell people all the time, that was 65% of who I was. And when it comes out, if we do have the rematch, you'll see a different side. But again, when you're able to have fun with it and do what you want, it's nothing but a stroll through the park,
I heard Mayor talking after the fight. She certainly wants a rematch. Do you?
Do I? No, I want the Undisputed fight at 130 against Choi. That's what I want. I put my mind to it. I'm this close of making that happen. I beat the best, the quote unquote, the best girl in the division, got her out the way, and now it's time to fight Choi and make this fight at Undisputed for 130. We need that for women's boxing at 130.
Yeah, you're right about that. Do you ever see you and Mayor fighting again?
I do. I do. It was fun to me. It was fun to fight this girl, and knowing that if I fight her again, it's not going to be pretty, because I know what I can do for fun, but let's add some more seasoning on top of that to, show something else.
Ring Magazine now has you 8 on their pound for pound list, one spot in front of Mayor. ESPN.com has you at number 5 on their women's pound for pound list. Mayor at 6. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts with always, with these lists, they're opinionated, right? Other people make these lists. The lists don't make me. I just have to continue to work hard, have great performances. And sooner or later, when they want to put me number 1, they'll put me number 1. But in my mind, I'm number 1, baby. So that's all that matters.
And I was going to ask you this question, too, because, it was such a really good fight. Do you believe Alycia Baumgardner is the fresh face, new face of women's boxing? Because obviously Clarissa Shields, pound for pound, probably best fighter, female fighter in the world. But is Alycia Baumgardner the fresh face, new face of women's boxing?
I would agree. I would say me coming on the scene, you're going to see a whole package of a whole lot to be able to disperse amongst the boxing crowd. And I'm excited. I've been boxing since the age of 8. I'm at a place where I'm able to really put out there and show the world who I am. And I've been waiting for this for a very long time. So I would agree that I'm a new face to the scene, and I'm here to stay and here to make some legacy moves here in the sport.
Love it. Hey, Established Titles is a fun, novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It's a perfect project based on historic Scottish customs where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords, ladies in English. And the pack gives you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Eddleston, Scotland, and an official certificate like this one right here, with a crest. Your certificate features a unique plot number with which you can see the exact location of your land. Established Titles plants a tree with every order and work with global charities. One tree planted and trees for the future to support global reforestation efforts. Now, the cool perks are you could officially change the prefix of your name to Lord or Lady and get it on your credit card, plane tickets, etc. They even have couple packs that come with adjoining plots of land. Now, the first 200 people purchasing a title pack and using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. And depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our own little last stand kingdom. Listen, Established Titles makes an amazing last-minute gift, and they're actually running a Black Friday sale, their biggest sale of the year. Plus, if you use the code LASTSTAND, you get an additional 10% off. So go to establishedtitles.com/laststand to get your gifts now and help support the channel. Again, establishedtitles.com/laststand for an additional 10% off. I thought really one of the key things, too, was right before the Mayor fight where you kind of I guess you could say, changed trainers, and you had Tony Harrison, one of my favorites in the sport, as your trainer. Talk to me about how that came about, and what did Tony Harrison, what did Superbad do for you in your boxing career?
Yeah, I mean, it first starts with coming to Detroit, needing a place to train. Tony said, come to my gym. My dad would love to train you. Had a great relationship with his dad, was able to gain the knowledge and the wisdom. That's what's important in boxing. And so I was able to hold on to that. You know, his dad later on passed. You know, just the Superbad gym as a whole is a family. It's a family dynamic. And so we have a team who is, everybody wants to win, not just me. It's if I'm winning, everybody's winning. And, you know, I told Tony, I'm like, you know, Tony has an eye for boxing. He's very smart. I feel like he gets it from his dad. He knows exactly, you know, he's just on it. And so he sees where I'm lacking, and he makes sure that I stay on top of that. He stays on top of me. We don't do no lacking because he knows what he expects. And it's just when you have two fighters who know the game just as well, I think it makes for a great corner. It makes for great comfortability. It makes for great understanding, and you need that in the corner. And so I had that fight night, and, you know, Tony gave me the right instructions. When he's like, I don't need you going back for it, I need you going forward. I'm like, absolutely, I did that. And, you know, we were just dominant, and it's great to have that in the corner.
And so you're around Tony a lot, and I know that he's back on the scene. And from what you see of him working out, getting it in the gym, is Tony Harrison still the elite when you talk about that really tough 154-pound division?
Absolutely. You know, when you're an athlete and you're hungry and you've been doing this a long time, you're always going to have that fire within. And I believe because he's training me now, I give him that extra motivation to be like, there's so much more time. There's so much more things to accomplish. And again, Tony's a hungry fighter, you know, continue his legacy and what he's good at. And that's boxing, you know, the jab speaks for itself.
All right. So listen, you're obviously the queen at 130. Right there, you're the top dog. But there's some big fish at 135. I mean, some really big fish. And none bigger than Katie Taylor. Do you see an Alycia Baumgardner, Katie Taylor fight in the future?
So one thing about me, I love to fish, and I want to catch the big one, right? So absolutely, I would love a fight with Katie Taylor. A fight with Katie Taylor really will show a match of what boxing is, the beauty of what boxing is. And I believe our skill set is at the highest. And I believe that I will beat Katie Taylor. I would be the one to beat her. But I would love just to share the ring with her because she is a great fighter. She has shown over these years what she was able to accomplish for the sport of boxing, for women's boxing. And to share the ring with her would be awesome.
And along those lines, another one is Amanda Serrano. Do you see an Alycia Baumgardner Amanda Serrano fight in the future?
Absolutely. Another great fight for women's boxing. I'm a competitor, so I love to fight. I love to, again, keep pushing myself to the highest degree. And a fight with Amanda would be even fireworks. You know, the fight with her and Katie was amazing. So I'm sure it would be nothing less with her and I.
Mm. What do you think overall this victory over Mayer did for your career?
This victory over Mayer just showcased more of who Alycia was. It put more spotlight on who she was, and that, you know, as an underdog, the underdog always prevails. And my story tells that even through my process, it was a little slower. You know, I had to go ups and downs just like everybody else, but it just makes for a great story because I never gave up. And with fighting someone who was the best, who had the network, who had everything really in my eyes, I beat her that night. And I beat her convincingly to say that I'm the best at 130 and that I'm here to stay, and that I was coming after her sooner or later since the amateurs that I've been wanting to fight her. So I'm like, this fight was perfect for me. Like, it was awesome.
And what do you say to the naysayers and the people? I mean, obviously Mayer's camp, but the naysayers who say, "Oh, that fight was close. Mayer was coming back in the later rounds, and I thought she pulled it out." What do you say to them?
You know, go back and watch the fight. Understand the sport. Understand what you're watching first. And second, not everyone's going to like me. Not everyone's going to agree with me. But what they do know and what they should know is I won that night. I will be undisputed at 130, and I cannot wait for that to happen.
Tell me, how did you get into boxing?
My dad. I had a small gym where I grew up in. It was free. It was for the kids to get off the streets. My dad's like, "You want to try boxing?" I'm like, "Sure." I'm just this little athlete at 5 years old. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll try it," And it grew on me. But I never thought that I would be here in my career. But I did tell myself I wanted to be great at something. I didn't want to live an average life. And boxing was that outlet for me. It saved a part of who I am. It challenges me. And I love it. The sport is amazing. You really have to know yourself in order to be the best in certain areas. And boxing brought that to me.
Fantastic. Listen, I think, and I can't remember the city, maybe we were in Pennsylvania. It was a fight we did a long time ago, and I remember you were on the undercard there for Showtime, and I think that was the first time I got a chance to see you fight, and it was like, wow, that kid can fight. It was a long time ago, like what was that, about 5 years, I want to say, 4 or 5 years ago,
I want to say it was like my third pro fight.
Yeah, exactly. I certainly remember that. Now look at you. You've blossomed. And, listen, you get so much attention, not only because you can fight, but then because of your looks and the way you are. Any fear, especially as a woman, that some guys, especially males, will look at just the sexuality and think of you more as a sex symbol as opposed to a world champion fighter.
Right. Just like they say, you can never judge a book by its cover. And, I prove that you can be a beauty outside the ring and a beast in the ring. So all I have for those people is a girl can fight and she look good doing it. Okay.
That's fantastic. Kamikoto makes great high-quality Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques from Japan. And Kamikoto uses only steel sourced from mills in Japan. And each blade is crafted using techniques that have been honed and perfected by generations of knife smiths. Each Kamikoto knife goes through a rigorous 19-step process that takes several years from start to finish to complete. Then each knife is individually inspected and comes with a lifetime guarantee. And each knife comes in a beautiful, heavy-duty ash wood box like you see right here to make sure the knife is stored safely. It also makes Kamikoto a great gift because of the wooden box the knives are presented in. And the product range features a vast array of Japanese steel knives, such as the 3-piece Kanpeki knife set, which includes the Nikuri vegetable knife. It's 7 inches long. The slicing knife, it's 8.5 inches long. And the utility knife, which is 5 inches long. The Kamikoto Sentoku blade, 7 inches long. All the blades and the handles have satin finish for a subtle yet stunning luster. And because of their single bevel edge, Kamikoto knives can achieve an unbelievably sharp edge you just can't get with other knives. They can cut through your ribeye like butter. And you can maintain the edge of your blades with one of Kamikoto's sharpening whetstones. Kamikoto knives are used by several chefs working at Michelin star restaurants all over the world. Kamikoto is now running a Black Friday sale and offering our viewers an extra $50 off any purchase with the discount code LASTSTAND on top of our special offers. So go to kamikoto.com/laststand to get your knife set. Okay, champ, for everyone who watches and listens to this show, we allow them to submit questions through social media. We got a number of them for you, so we had to only select a few because it was like, Lord have mercy. They were coming in fast and furious. This first one, all of them come from Twitter. First one from Prime Talk asks, is there any chance in the fight, did you feel that Mayer was fading? And how satisfying is it to shut up the naysayers?
I would say the first round, I felt Mayer's, just her confidence go down because I came out the first round strong using my jab. And so I could tell she knew she's going to have to make an adjustment somewhere, somehow. And, again, proving the naysayers wrong was amazing because it feels good when you're doubted. It feels good when someone doesn't believe in you and you make them a believer.
Yeah, I could see that. I think it was the first 3 rounds. You could see you were hitting, she was missing, and you were smiling in the ring at that time, which was really funny to watch you perform. Steezo from Twitter asks, what's it like training with Tony Harrison, and is his coaching style a lot different from his dad's?
It's great training with Tony. Again, both fighters knowing the game. He has similarities to his dad, but Tony is who he is for him, like by himself. So he has his own way and style of fighting.
Aleem asks, what do you feel will be the biggest challenge when you fight Choi?
I would say the biggest challenge would be making sure the fight happens, right? We want this fight at Undisputed at 130. The women been able to show that we're able to make these big fights, and this is just another stamp for women's boxing to make sure that fight happens.
Christian asks, when is the next meet and greet?
So listen, I'm planning this, and I'm like, you know what? I really want to wait till I get that title, the WBA. I want that title so I can do the biggest meet and greet, right? So we're talking about it. We're seeing what our options are.
Trill Esquire asks, how did you decide which song to walk out to?
Listen, I chose 3 songs, as you could tell, and it was hard. This is your walkout. You got to be in the zone, and so all 3 songs were definitely like part of my personality. And of course, it was fun. I was locked in. I was enjoying the crowd. So, it's always one of those things. What song are you coming out to?
Homer asks, why don't you claim Ohio anymore? Ohio fans support our people hard.
Listen, I do support Ohio. I support anybody who supports me. That's how I put it. You can't be everybody's favorite, but I show support where it's needed.
Yeah, I love that. I'm originally from Ohio as well, from Columbus. So I was surprised when I looked up and saw that you were originally born in Ohio. I was like, okay, she's a homegirl then. Now,
yeah.
I don't know if I like that you're living up in that place up north, because that's a bad state. I don't like being in there. I don't like nothing about that state. But it's good to know that you're a Buckeye at heart, born and bred. That's what I love about you.
I am.
Renee asks, when you don't have a fight schedule, do you train as part of your lifestyle, or do you just totally disconnect?
Train as a lifestyle. I don't know how to take time off. Like, I just was in the gym yesterday. I'm able to have a bag class. I train women. So that keeps me busy just in the gym, so I can just have that gym feeling. I don't know how I'm going to be able to disconnect. But, it's a lifestyle for me.
That's fantastic. Mr. Arter asks, will you be pushing for a headline fight in Michigan for the Undisputed title with Choi?
Absolutely. I told Eddie Hearn I want to fight in Detroit. I went from a club fighter, to TV, and I was selling tickets then. So I'm ready to sell these tickets and show them like I'm a ticket seller. We can have a fight here in Detroit, bring boxing back to Detroit, and again, headline my card. And I think that'd be awesome and dope, and I think it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So.
Absolutely. J-Bro asks, how did it feel being congratulated by Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez?
Feels good. It feels good just to be recognized and respected in the sport of boxing. And again, there's just so much more to show the world. So I'm very thankful.
D. Bennett asks, how does it feel being the sexiest boxer ever?
We're changing the narrative, okay? It doesn't matter how you look. If you can fight, that's all that matters.
Look, I'm not even gonna lie. I got 50,000 of these, so I might as well ask.
I'm sure.
Are you single?
I'm married to the game.
That's a great answer. So
Married
there
to
you
the
go,
game,
people. There you go. That was like question 50 to 100.
I'm sure.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Brian Custer. I want to talk to you about our partner, Athletic Greens. I started taking Athletic Greens because I wanted more energy. And I got to tell you, I absolutely love it. Athletic Greens doesn't taste super healthy. It's kind of mild, has that tropical taste, but I actually look forward to having it every single morning. So what is this stuff? Well, one scoop of delicious Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day right. And it contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anything, while still tasting good. Listen, it helps support better sleep quality for you, recovery, and it supports mental clarity and alertness is what I love about it. You know, AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits, and it's one thing you can do every single day to take care of yourself, and it's lifestyle friendly. So whether you're keto, vegan, paleo, dairy-free, or gluten-free, Athletic Greens is for you, and it costs you less than $3 a day. So you're investing really in your health, and it's cheaper than that cold brew habit that you may have. So additionally, for every purchase, Athletic Greens is going to donate to organizations help to get nutritious foods to kids all across the country who are in need, including No Kid Hungry, which is right here in the U.S. By the way, 2 years ago in 2020, Athletic Greens donated over $1.2 million to meals to kids. Now, it is the time to reclaim your health, folks. And all you got to do is arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutritional supplement. And listen, once we get into that cold flu season, this is something that you need, because just one scoop of water every day with Athletic Greens, and there's no need for the million of different pills or supplements to look out for your health. All you're going to need is Athletic Greens. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens wants to give you free a 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. And all you got to do is visit athleticgreens.com/laststand. Again, athleticgreens.com/laststand. Athletic Greens. Take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Okay, champ, we've come to the last segment of this show. We call it The Last Stand. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You just give me the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. That video of you and Mayor at the final press conference, I think it was like 2 days before the fight. What did you say to each other when security had to come up there and grab you and separate you two and pull you away? What did you guys say to each other?
You know, they had her mic'd up. So, you know, she told me, don't smile. And I'm like, don't smile. And it was on, and it was just a little switch. She just turned it on, and, you know, you seen it. Listen, that buildup was everything. I love Fight Week. It was awesome.
Okay, and so then tell me, what did y'all say to each other at the weigh-in? Because I remember she tried to kick you at the weigh-in. What did y'all say to each other?
Yeah, so we didn't say anything, but, you know, she was trying to come up on me, like, trying to big dog me. I'm like, girl, bye. So, like, I had to push her, you know, and nothing she was good at. So here comes the kick. But it was dope, though. It made for a great fight week. I love the rivalry we had. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. The buildup you guys had to that fight was everything. If you weren't a professional fighter, what would you be doing right now?
Probably running track. Track was like my favorite, or was my one of my sports that I ran in college, or I'm sorry, high school. So I was going to be an athlete. I don't know what sport, but I would say track.
What event?
4x1.
Okay.
200.
I love it.
Yeah.
Claressa Shields, man, she dominated Savannah Marshall. What did you think of her performance?
Again, just Claressa being at that stage in that moment against someone who she's been wanting to fight. Like, I'm just happy she got the fight, right? She was able to revenge her loss that she had. And that moment was really for her, you know, all her hard work that she's put in, you know, to put on this big card in the UK. I salute her and all her accomplishments.
If someone was going to compare you to a male fighter that's fighting right now, who would that fighter be?
That's a great question because I asked myself that. I don't know. Do you know?
I don't know. That is a good question.
That's a great question.
Who are the fighters that had the biggest influence on you in your career? Maybe you looked up to as you were on this journey in boxing.
That's tough. I mean, I would just say, just boxing alone, just being in the sport, each fighter has something that you gravitate towards and you're able to pull from. So I don't know. I guess I found that within that.
Interesting. In December, Tank and Ryan Garcia are finalizing a fight. Who wins that fight?
Man, that's a great fight, right? I gotta go with Gervonta Davis. But I'm not overlooking Ryan Garcia. He's a hungry fighter. He's been calling out Gervonta Davis. He's a competitor. He wants to prove why he thinks he can beat Gervonta. And Gervonta, he has to keep this status of who he is as a fighter. Everyone knows Gervonta Davis and what he's known for and how great he is as well. So I think it makes for a great story, a great fight, and I can't wait for it.
Last but not least, at this time next year, Alycia Baumgardner will be
undisputed.
Wow, I like it. Well, listen, you're already the unified champ, and now, according to many, pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world. She's the bomb, Alycia Baumgardner. I really appreciate you taking the time and talking with us here on The Last Stand.
Yes, no problem. Thank you for having me.
That's what we do. We bring you the biggest names in the sport, and when you talk about women's boxing, at 1:30, there's no bigger name than Alycia Baumgardner. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next week.
All hail Sunday. The NFL on CBS is back with a crazy talented crop of QBs out west, possible MVPs in the East, and matchups to remember. Sundays, the NFL is on CBS.